What is up, everyone? I'm Skratch. Welcome to the channel. This is another Raid Shadow Legends video, or not necessarily only a Raid Shadow Legends video, because today we're going to do something a bit different. We're going to compare two different games that I freaking play, and I really love both of them. And I feel like if I could combine both of them together, I would make the perfect freaking game, okay? Basically, guys, we're going to have a look at Raid Shadow Legends versus Etheria Restart. Now, overall, in terms of graphics, they are very different games, and they're not appealing to every single one of you guys out there, because some of you guys like anime games, some of you hate them, some of you can't be bothered, and some of the people that like anime graphics don't like the Raid graphics, right? Vice versa. But as I've mentioned, I don't really want to focus as much on graphics. I want to focus more on gameplay. I want to talk about KOLs, the UI, the features that each one of the games has, and how, if I would combine both of them, I would make the perfect game. Now, if you guys do play Etheria Restart, or you want to try it out, this is not a sponsored video or anything like that. I do have a different channel where I'm covering Etheria Restart. I will leave the link in the pinned comment. If you guys, if you want to check out the channel, check out the game, feel free to do so. Either way, let's start with Raid Shadow Legends, right? This is a 7-year-old game, more or less. Etheria Restart is a 13 days game, a 13 days old game, okay? So there's tons of things that Etheria Restart, of course, can implement in the game, evolve, get better. Pretty much the same situation as Raid. Now, because Raid is a much older game, they've learned a lot from their mistakes. And I feel like, in a way or another, they started not necessarily at a similar level, because Raid was really stale at the beginning. It barely had anything to do in it. Like, we had no events and stuff like that at all at the beginning, right? But that changed, because now we have events all the freaking time. But talking about some of the features, okay? And there's not that many things that I would bring from Etheria Restart to Raid, for example. There are quite a few things that I would take from Raid and bring them to Etheria Restart. Let's start with one of the things that I would bring from Etheria Restart to Raid Shadow Legends. And this is by far the best background system I've seen in any game whatsoever. And I'm talking about background battles. So if I'm going to go at one of the dungeons, for example, let's just say I'm going to go and farm some of this one, because I need to farm more of it. And let me just show you how it works. So this is a turn-based gacha game as well. Same principles at Raid, very familiar. The gear sets are, in a way or another, very similar. You have very similar skills. But right here, you have the option to basically do your fights. Let me put it on auto. Actually, wait, because I've done it wrong. I'm supposed to click on the other difficulty. I just realized I went to a higher difficulty, and that's why I don't have the option. So you go to continuous battles. You have infinite multi-battles. As long as you have energy, stamina, you're going to be able to come every single time and put 10 more fights on and on and on forever, as long as you have the energy. This is something that I would 1000% love to see in Raid. Then, start battle. You have your team set up, right? Battle, and right here you can click on background battles. Now, while we are in the background battles, I am able to play any game mode I want. Arena, I can go and do clan boss. I can go and do anything that the game has available. It does not matter what, everything works. And in the meantime, I can check the background battles. I can see if I lost, if I won. I can see what rewards I got. And I can either stop it, either return back to the battle, or just let it there, okay? The best thing is this one. I can Alt F4 from the game. So right now I close the game. Regardless if you're playing on PC, on mobile, you close the game, and half an hour later, okay, you can go back to the game, and that thing is still running, or it finished. If you're farming that particular content fast, that finished. You do not have to worry about it, because it still goes in the background while the game is offline. Isn't that a freaking insane background battle system? I only wish Raid would do something like that, okay? So you see, right now I'm on Battle 3, and I've accumulated these rewards. And this will go till it reaches 10 fights, okay? Really, really amazing feature. So this is one of the very first things I would bring into Raid Shadow Legends. It would make our life so much better. Then, talking about something else. For example, you are going to go into a fight. In some other games as well, is even better because they're not charging you any stamina. But let's just go versus a stage that I cannot beat at the moment. Instead of me losing all of my stamina / energy, right? If I back out of the fight or if the boss beats me, yeah, I lost and I'm losing 1 stamina. So every single run in this game will only cost 10 stamina. It will not increase with the difficulty level or anything like that. It will not be different from content to content. Regardless if you're farming character XP, skill ups for your skills on the heroes, the champions, the animus, or you're farming something else, 10 stamina per run. You lose a fight, they take 1 stamina, you take 9 stamina back. So that is absolutely amazing as well, because in Raid, it really sucks when you lose fights, because you're literally losing all of your energy, right? So that's something that I would love to see in Raid, because there's a lot of RNG with some of the teams as well, right? Then, talking about a couple of different things as well, and that is the prowess material, and this is basically from where you farm the materials for skill ups. Now, you will require a different currency as well, but this will allow you to basically get off all these materials. It's like farming books in a way or another in Raid Shadow Legends, okay? Because you will use this to skill up all of your characters. So this is really, really good. Then, the next thing is, of course, the summoning system. Not only that they are extremely transparent with the mercy system, and if you click on probabilities and you click on about rules, you're going to see exactly how many more summons you need to do till you are guaranteed. And that's, of course, if you are unlucky. So usually the mercy guaranteed is at 80 summons. I've done 13 summons, as you guys can probably notice. Not just that, but if I click on the summoning record, I can see exactly what I've summoned from this particular type of shard / summon. Okay? Oh, that was my last legendary right here. When did I got the other one? Did I have to go all the way to the mercy? Can I just check it? Hell yeah, I can check pretty much every freaking thing. So the transparency is amazing, okay? I would love to see that in Raid 2. Then, you have 2 major different types of summoning currencies. You have these purple ones right here, the Anima prototype, and you have the Apex prototype, okay? Now, the Apex is kind of like the Void Affinity in Raid Shadow Legends, while these ones, think about them like the Ancient Shards, okay? The good thing is that from the so-called Ancient Shards, you will have a 1% chance to summon a legendary, from which you have all of these different elemental affinities. You see the green, the blues, the reds, and they have a 0.75%. But how if we have a 1% chance to summon legendaries? Well, because a 0.25% chance from the 1% chance, so 1 in 4, is basically one of the void ones, the light and dark, the apex ones, and you can get them from the simple summons. Really, really, really good, okay? Then, talking about limited time summoning banners, aka 15x events in Raid Shadow Legends. These ones, much better than in any other gacha game, because some other gacha games, they have like a 50-50 chance. Even if you get a legendary, an SSR, it's still only a 50% chance to get a one that is on the banner. Well, in Etheria Restart, you do not have such a thing, which is absolutely amazing. Imagine having Raid doing an event like this for, I don't know, maybe they're bringing in new champions and they're gonna be like, well, we have a limited time banner. In 80 summons, 200 summons, 150 summons, if you are not pulling that unit, you're gonna get this unit guaranteed. And if you're looking at the probabilities, you only have one legendary on the banner, and that is that unit, which means that you can do one summon and get a unit, or you can do 80 and hit the Mercy and get the unit guaranteed. So this is something that is really lacking in Raid Shadow Legends. This is a brand new game. This is a game that has probably 5% of the characters that Raid Shadow Legends has in the game, which means that they should be the ones worried about a system like this. But instead they are not, because they know there are tons of different ways on how they can monetize the game. And it's not all about getting pulls, summons. While Raid heavily relies on most of the people spending money on shards, then of course empowerment gear and every single thing that they are selling in the game. So this is another thing that I would absolutely love to see in Raid Shadow Legends. Then of course, a battle pass, man. Bring us a freaking battle pass. We had one in Raid Shadow Legends like 5 years ago. We never had it since. They changed it. They brought in the Forge pass, which is not bad, don't get me wrong. But getting something like this would be definitely more appealing to the player base, right? And yeah, the rewards at the moment is the honeymoon period. We got tons and tons of rewards from this game. We're going to get another guaranteed legendary from here. It's going to be a random one, but on day 14, we actually had guaranteed the best healer in the game, cleanser, etc. So it is pretty rewarding as a game. Now, you see my background battles are done. I can check what I've got from here and deal with that later. Their PvP is actually really solid, guys, because they are planning to make kind of like esports type of competition. So if we're going to go right here at event, competition starts, this will be a worldwide event where players will meet each other and compete versus each other for prizes, okay? We have friendly battles in the game. I will be able to host tournaments in the game for the community with prizes, with whatever the heck I want to, and basically have tons and tons of fun with you guys while we play the game together. This is something that we have been requesting for Raid to bring in their game as well, and it's not a real life competition. It's just having the ability to basically do friendly battles, create groups with friends and compete versus each other. You do have a friend list as well right here, from where you can see tons of different things, and yeah, I think it's really solid. We do have in the union right here, which is the guild, the clan. You have the clan boss, of course. That's something that Raid has as well and is really good. You have daily check-in rewards, which are really basically making you wanna join a union, even if you're not interested in the actual clan boss, a guild, a clan slash. You have weekly quests where you work with your entire clan to accumulate good rewards, summons, materials, energy, stuff like that. And then you have the shop as well. So yeah, we do have the shop in Raid, but would be nice to get that too. Plus, this is the final thing that I want to mention, is basically the ability to give fragments of characters to your clanmates. And once they collect 50 fragments, they will be able to get a dupe for that unit and use it as an empowerment. They won't be able to summon the unit, but they will be able to summon to use it as a dupe. I do not think they can. Yeah, you cannot use it as a summon unit. You need to basically own the unit, but that's fine because you're gonna get empowerment. So every 50 days, you're gonna get a unit to empower, okay, which is really good. But leaving all that on the side, time to talk about Raid Shadow Legends, guys, and we do have tons of good things as well that other games are missing. For your surprise, we actually do. Starting with the way we level up gear, right? That is absolutely amazing in Raid. Now, of course, that was not like this all the time. This is something that evolved over time, but in Raid, you have the ability to select it by levels, instant upgrade, amazing, right? This is something that I would love to see in Etheria Restart. I think that's something pretty cool. Another thing that I would like to see in Etheria Restart, or even my perfect game if I would make it, is basically the UI like we have it in most of these games. Now, this UI is not designed by Raid. It's not something that only Raid has, but it's basically the ability to see all of your units down here, your champions. If I go into a battle right here. For example, let's go here. And you see, I don't have my units available. I cannot select them from here. I actually need to go at the tab. I need to go to Animus and then from here. And it's a bit tedious. If you click challenge and you're missing some gear, you're going to have to basically back out of it. You're still not going to start the fight. You're not going to be charged stamina or anything like that. But it's just basically 2 loading screens for no reason. You see the units right here, but you cannot equip gear on them from here. Okay, so that's basically what's missing. Because if I could click on them and equip gear somehow, would be amazing. But I do not have that option. I can see the gear on them, but if I'm missing gear, for example, let's just go here. Right, no gear. I cannot equip gear on them. So that would be something that I would like to see. Now, no stamina is getting charged here because we haven't actually deployed them into a fight. So something like this would be amazing. Of course, in Raid, you gotta click on champions as well, but at least you have the option to do it from that screen, and they are going to basically return you back to the screen. Another thing that I really appreciate in Raid, now seeing that is not part of Etheria Restart, is the ability to basically start a fight. Let's just refresh, start the fight, and you have this start on auto. Right, this is amazing because I'm just farming. I'm not going to look at every single fight as, oh my god, this is a tough opponent. No, at some point you will. You might deactivate it, but you have the option to start every single battle on auto. In Etheria Restart, you're going to have to click it every single time. And this is something that was exactly the same in Raid a long time ago. We did not have that option to basically do the auto for all of the fights. What other things I would like to see from Raid in Etheria Restart that we do not have? One thing probably would be the campaign and farming the XP. It's not the actual campaign / storyline. It's just the way you are farming XP in the games. So in Raid, you put your characters in here, you farm XP, right? Directly on them. In Etheria Restart, I feel like this is one thing that's really lacking. You go into the investigation, which is the XP. You're using 100 stamina, 100 energy, and you're barely getting any return back for it. You can't really do much with it, right? You can barely get a few levels on a higher rank unit. And when you are doing this content, your units barely gain any XP from defeating the enemies, right? Ignoring these things that we collect from here, these record books or whatever. Just the actual XP you get from every single fight. Doesn't matter what content you're doing, you can go in a dungeon, you will get a bit of XP on your character. But this doesn't give you any at all. So I would love to see this area getting buffed, to be honest with you guys, because it feels like the return for the investment, it really, really sucks. Now, other things that I would like to see from Raid, man, there are really not many, okay? There are really not many other things that I would like to move from Raid to Etheria Restart. We have the presets that's already in the game. There isn't much, okay? There really isn't much else that I would like to move in terms of QOLs, UI, and all that stuff, you know? Because it has pretty much everything else Etheria Restart too, you know? Like, if we're talking about presets, the game launched directly with presets, right? So we go to modules, and right here you have all of the presets. And you can just change them as you want. You can save as many as you want as well. I think so. I haven't reached my limit yet, but basically you can do so. Now, the gear system in Etheria Restart is really, really interesting because you see you have matrix effects on the gear pieces. This is with 2 little aiming thingies. This is with 3. So the gear sets are like 4-piece, 8-piece, 12-piece, 6-piece, and it's much easier for you to basically use multiple sets on your unit. Then you have the shells. These are kind of like relics in Raid Shadow Legends, except they look more like pets, like companions. Basically, they give you additional stats, and then they give you an effect, right? Same like a relic would do, but a bit more interesting from this one, to be honest. And then you have like passives on the actual shells, which would be the relics. And you can gain more additional stats from there, right? So it's very similar system. It's a very similar system, but you can actually go and freaking farm the heck out of them like you would farm gear, because they drop with matrix effects. So that will enable you to basically put better gear on your characters. You see, I have 3 matrix effect on onslaught, 2 on harvest, and that goes from 1 to 3, and you can have up to 3 different gear sets on a shell. But that's only when you start farming the higher difficulty. And yeah, that's pretty much it. With the silver, I feel like raid still has a bigger issue, because this game costs you nothing to remove gear, to swap gear around is completely free. So you don't have to worry about that. I don't have to worry about moving gear and it's going to cost me 1 million or 600k or whatever, because in Etheria Restart that cost is not there. But leveling up gear is still pretty expensive in Etheria Restart too, so you do need to be pretty cautious with the way you are basically burning all of that. One thing, I would love to see fusion events in Etheria Restart. That's something that, of course, they might be doing in the future. As I've mentioned, this is a 13 days old game, so it's kind of like a little bro compared to Raid. There are tons of things that they still need to develop and stuff. But other than that, yeah, that's pretty much it, guys. Now, I know some of you guys will be like, Skratch, I don't like the looks of Etheria Restart. I don't blame you. Everybody with his own taste. I'm not putting as much stress on the graphics anymore, because I feel like the gameplay is just so freaking good and I'm really having a blast in it. It's like a fresh of breath air. So I am enjoying it. Now, some of you guys might not play any game that looks like that because it's just not your cup of tea, and that is perfectly fine. I still wanted to basically share some of these things with you guys because every game usually has pros and cons, but if I would be able to combine some of the pros and the pros from both of these 2 games together, I would make the ultimate best freaking game. That was all for the video. If you are interested in Etheria Restart, check out my other channel, subscribe to it, and I will catch you all in the next one. Stay safe. Peace.